Welcome back, viewers at home, joining us tonight to share his harrowing experiences at sea, as well as being detained by the Israeli military, as well as the most important and crucial mission of the flotilla. I am so delighted to welcome Reaaz Moolla, who will share his experiences with us. Assalamu alaikum, jazakallah so much for joining us tonight.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi to you and to all the viewers.
Now, Mr. Riaz, just coming back to the initial, decision that, you took to be part of this mission, can you tell us what were some of your personal convictions that motivated you to be part of this mission, considering the risks that were involved?
So basically, as the viewers would know, that every day we see those harrowing images of Gaza on our phone, the starvation, the bombing, the killing, and it reached a point where there was a sense of frustration within me that I couldn't do anything, and this every time there was a flotilla leaving, I would say, I'd tell my family, this is where I need to be, this is what I need to do, and in actual fact, it was the least I could do. And then when the Global Sumud Flotilla came along, it was actually my wife and daughter that applied on my behalf.
Alhamdulillah. And just now looking into, the idea that the flotilla was, intercepted and, the global community came out in their numbers and they really they helped draw attention to what was happening as well as criticized it heavily in terms of what was going on was quite unjust and it just didn't make sense. And I think for those who are not, aboard, we do not truly know what happened and how everybody was feeling. And hence I would like for you to just walk us through in terms of what was going on through Mr. Riaz's mind, seeing the Israeli forces coming aboard and detaining everyone on the ship.
Okay, so first of all, I'd just like to say that we went through intense training and we were very, very well prepared. Um, so when they in fact did board our vessel, which was the Florida, it was just enacting whatever we had learned and whatever we did in training and going through the motion. So yeah, Alhamdulillah. Obviously, we were anxious, we were nervous, but I think aboard our boat, we did very, very well, extremely well.
Hmm. And with that being said, how did the activists on board respond to the aggression and intimidation that they were, faced with?
Yeah, once again, I say our training helped us. Um, um, our training helped us a lot, and every step of the way, we knew what to do. We were ready for it, and Alhamdulillah, we were very, very calm. I think all the participants on our vessel were very calm. The the Israeli armed forces boarded our boat. We were actually locked. We locked ourselves in the cabin. We gave them about a minute, and then we opened. And once they came in, they searched the entire vessel. We were very calm. We knew exactly what to do. Um, uh, we, 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 um, we all gathered in the cabin with our hands, basically our hands like this. We were not like this. We were not surrendering. We were just showing them that we didn't have anything, any weapons or anything like that. They searched the entire vessel. They then took all of us, searched us, and put us in the front of the boat, basically. Um, but we coped very well. I think we sat there for hours, but hats off to all the participants, our crew, our captain. May Allah bless them all.
And one would be, I think it might be premature in my assumption to say that someone who's never been arrested and detained and suddenly, being on international waters and being, detained by the most unlawful, beings at that, or if I can even call them beings, the Israeli military, how was that like? I mean, being detained, what was the treatment like?
So basically, from the boat, we were taken onto a warship and transferred to the port. Um, the port was a totally different story. if we thought the people, the naval soldiers were a bit calm, when we got to the port, it was a different story. They were extremely rough, extremely hard-handed. They were twisting people's hands and pushing down on your neck and your head. Our participants from the other boats were made to kneel onto the hot tar. Um, so actually, once we got to the port, there was a processing hall, as we can call it, and I'm sure many of the viewers saw the incident with Ben Gavir when he came there as well. Um, and once again, the bravery, the bravery of all the participants and of the members of the flotilla stood up to him, even though there were consequences. Um, um, he actually went off. He came back. He was barking away again. And after that, we were actually all tied behind our hands. We were cable tied. Our hands were cable strapped behind our hands for hours on end, for hours on end. And we were made to sit on the top. And there were many old men amongst us. They were sick. There were some that were not well. Yeah, so that was the next step basically until we were loaded into these into the vehicles. They were actually trucks with cells in them, and we were then taken to the prison. But I must say, they use various forms of intimidation and basically various types of torture. They didn't, maybe not everybody was physically beaten, but we had to endure extreme cold while we were transported to the prison. So those were just some of the things that we endured after the boat. But the attitude of the Israeli occupying force, I'd say, um, it was terrible, absolutely terrible. They would mock you, they would degrade you, they would demean you constantly. Um, you probably know what happened to some of the South African female participants that were stripped of their scarves, or of the hijab, even of the top shirt that they were wearing, and even myself, constantly demeaned. They took everything of mine. The guy couldn't understand how I was from Africa, and then he kept on saying banana, 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 kind of demeaning. Um, and then we were loaded and taken to the prison. Yeah.
And just hearing this harrowing experience, I just want to find out from you, Mr. Reaaz, in terms of that was what was happening in terms of a physical sense. Psychologically, what was going through your, mind in terms of seeing what we've seen on social media in terms of what the Palestinians are being put through and what they've shared with us. And now you are, I won't even say getting a taste, but getting a glimpse into what they have to face on a daily.
So basically, I just want to say whatever we went through wasn't even, the Palestinian brothers and sisters, especially those that are incarcerated in those hellholes, go through 1,000 times worse. I mean, we know that there's over 10,000 brothers and sisters in the Israeli jails, over 500 children, can we believe, 500 children that are incarcerated. And the levels of torture really um, inhumane. That's what I have to say, inhumane. Um, for us, basically, uh, we knew with our training and from the start of this mission, we were informed that there was a huge possibility that we would get imprisoned and exactly what would follow. So we had to keep calm at all times. That was the main thing, actually, just to keep calm. And then to endure, the Samud basically, the Samud factor came in with perseverance, and we just took it forward. So Alhamdulillah, I'd say we cope quite well.
Hmm. And in helping, many viewers and many pro-Palestinians watching tonight in keeping the spirit and the motivation going, what words of, motivation you'd like to leave them or leave us with, and that we should consider when we're thinking of advocating for the human rights of the Palestinian people?
First thing, I think we need to bring this awareness within us. Bring an awareness within us within our community around us. Second of all, to mobilize ourselves, to motivate ourselves and our communities, because this struggle has to be taken forward. Um, and finally, we need to get some action. I have to say, when I went to Tunisia, when I was in Tunis, I met so many remarkable people from all over the world, from 46 countries. And the sacrifices, the conviction they had for this cause, it was truly amazing. So I could go on and give you stories, very, very quickly, I'm just going to tell you about a girl called Victoria. She every 4 months of the year she would go to West Bank and act as a human shield. When the settlers attack the villages. And the last time she did it, she was beaten so badly that she had to return home to the USA for treatment. But there's this I'm thinking there's so many stories like this that I could relate to you. And this actually struck me, and I was in awe that people that from all over the world, all walks of life, all religions, were willing to sacrifice so much. So it's also for us to introspect and to step up now, to step up really. And there's so much we can do, basically. Um, we need to put pressure on our governments wherever we are to make sure that full economic sanctions take place against the Israeli regime, that ambassadors are sent back to the ambassadors and consulates are sent packing. Here in South Africa, I have to note, we did take the Israeli apartheid regime to the ICJ, but I'm from Newcastle, and around Newcastle we have a lot of coal mines that have sprung up recently. The company that's extracting most of this coal is called Glencore. Glencore is the main supplier of coal to Israel. Can you believe it? We are now, South Africa is now the largest, if not, is the second largest supplier of coal to Israel. So obviously this has to stop. Also, it is gazetted that there's and documented that there's 54 South African citizens that are serving in the Israeli occupying force. Obviously, these people have to be prosecuted, and they know that this is unacceptable. So these are just some of the things we can pressurize our government, and obviously take part if ever, inshallah, if more flotillas do come along, please, everybody's welcome to take part.
Mr. Reaaz, Jazakallah so much for joining us and really allowing us to hear the experiences that you underwent in this, what was a very beautiful mission in terms of, providing aid to the Palestinians, yet it ended so harrowingly. And I really respect the fact that with all, there was a sense of positivity out of this mission and growth from all the participants. But Jazakallah so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Viewers at home, that was Mr. Reaaz Moolla, who was also one of the participants of the Global Sumud Flotilla that was meant to send aid to the people of Palestine. But as we all know how it ended, and we're just here to find out more in terms of the experiences and lessons learned that we can carry on and still reviving the spirit of, ceasefire and Palestine being ultimately free.